Jessica, you're out of your mind. We got divorced 8 months ago, and that baby isn't mine. Really, Michael? Jessica's voice was calm, which somehow made it more terrifying. Because I have the papers right here that show our divorce was never finalized. Would you like to see them? I forced myself to stand up and face what was happening. Jessica was holding a manila folder, and she was pulling out what looked like legal documents. The divorce papers you thought you signed? They were fake. I never submitted them to the court because I found out I was pregnant the week before our court date. I thought we could work things out for the sake of our baby. Michael was shaking his head frantically. That's impossible. I have a copy of our divorce decree. I've seen the papers. You have a copy of fake papers that I had made. The real divorce was never filed. Jessica's voice was getting stronger, more confident. I can prove it. I brought copies of everything. She started pulling out more papers from the folder, what looked like court documents, medical records, and other official-looking papers. And before you try to deny that this is your baby, she continued, placing her hand on her belly again, I have the conception date from my doctor, and it matches up perfectly with that weekend we spent together in February. You remember, Michael, the weekend you told me you wanted to try to work things out? I felt like the ground was disappearing beneath my feet. February? That was just 4 months ago. Michael and I had been together for over 2 years. We'd been living together for 6 months. How was this possible? I know this is a lot to process, Jessica said, and her voice was actually kind, but I have proof of everything I'm saying. She started laying out papers on one of the cocktail tables that had been set up for the party. People began gathering around to look, though everyone was trying to be respectful of the absolutely insane situation we were all witnessing. Here's our marriage certificate from 2018, she said, pointing to one document. Here are the divorce papers that Michael thought he signed. You can see they're notarized but never filed with the court. And here are my medical records showing my due date and conception date. Lisa grabbed my arm and whispered, "Do you want to get out of here? We can go inside." But I couldn't move. I needed to see this. I needed to understand what was happening to my life. Jessica pulled out her phone and started scrolling through something. I also have text messages from Michael from February through April, including photos he sent me from places I know he told you he was traveling for work. She turned the phone toward me, and I could see a long string of text messages. I couldn't read them from where I was standing, but I could see photos that looked like they were taken in restaurants and hotel rooms. The Hampton Inn in Sacramento, she said, pointing to one photo. March 15th. He told me he had to go there for a client meeting, and he asked me to meet him there to talk about our future. I still have the hotel receipt. My heart stopped. March 15th. I remembered that trip. Michael had told me he was going to Sacramento for a boring client presentation and would be back the next day. He'd even complained about having to stay at a cheap hotel because the company was trying to save money. But if Jessica was there with him, and this one, she continued, scrolling to another photo, was taken at Giuseppe's Italian restaurant in the city on April 8th. He said he wanted to take me somewhere special to celebrate the baby. April 8th. Michael had told me he was having dinner with his college buddy who was in town for one night. He'd even texted me from the restaurant, saying he was bored and wished he was home with me instead. I felt like I was going to throw up. Michael was red-faced and looked like he was about to explode. Sarah, don't listen to her. She's completely delusional. We got divorced and I haven't touched her since. But even as he was saying it, I could see doubt creeping into his voice. And the way he was looking at Jessica's pregnant belly, there was something there. Recognition? Fear? If you're so sure the baby isn't yours, Jessica said calmly, then you won't mind taking a paternity test.